Welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me today on what is, I think, the 15th day of my 80 days, or is it 88? Oh, 70 days of house sitting in 88 days. Yeah, I have 18 that I'm not booked at a house sit right now. So this is day 16. I'm sorry, 15. I came up on a Saturday, started on a Sunday. It is again Sunday, so maybe it is 16. I don't know. I didn't really count, but I'm two-thirds of the way through this house sit, so that means it's time to start cleaning up, packing up, getting ready to move out, and I'm actually going back to Virginia after this. I'm in Bowlesburg, Pennsylvania right now. Actually, right out that window is Mount Tussey Ski Resort, or ski slope. Mount Tussey skiing. It's not really a resort. I think it's just a private public ski slope. A public ski slope. The public is invited, but it's privately owned. It's not like one of Vail Corporation's things. So it's a kind of small mountain, but they've had a decent crowd the whole 2 weeks I'm here. Of course, it's been below freezing. I'd say 10 of the 14, 15 days I've been here, so not terribly comfortable. I have learned, I'm going to do a video here probably sometime this week about the pros and cons of being a trusted house sitter. One of the cons is, or maybe it's going to become a pro, but I'm not coming back to Pennsylvania in February. I know that. It's too darn cold for this boy that's lived in Texas 25 years and always lived Virginia or further south. So that is a pro. I get to choose where I want to go. I chose this basically so I could avoid paying rent. But that's not what I want to talk about in this video. And that has come in handy. I've had 2 weeks rent-free so far, and I'll have a full 3 months before all this is said and done, and then I can continue. But, oh, that is one thing I did want to mention. Well, first, let me tell you who I am. Again, welcome to this channel. I'm Chip. This channel is called Chillin' with Chip. That's chilling without the G and an apostrophe, but YouTube doesn't really pick it up, so type in chilling if you want to. But I say chillin' because I'm usually chilling somewhere. I didn't mean literally like this house sit. I meant like relaxing, preferably somewhere warm on a beach, maybe a Caribbean island, a cruise ship. In fact, I've often thought this week it would be very nice if I had somebody to do these sits with me. Maybe not the same person every time, but somebody that may want to go a month, 3 months, whatever, and somebody else. In fact, a friend from Canada, a subscriber, I think on both of these channels, is thinking of coming down after Tuesday. So she'd probably be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. Anyway, we got to be out of here Sunday. I don't know what time my homeowners are coming back. They're driving from Florida. But this channel basically just talks about me traveling around, doing my work from home job, which is this YouTube channel, and my health channel, Unconventional Healthy Living Strategies, which is CP, the number 59, FIT, F-I-T, which goes over the journey I've had since I had a stroke almost 10 years ago, somewhere between 9 and 10. It was in August of 2015. So depending on when you watch this, it may be closer to 10 than 9. But anyway, this week has been good. Cold, but good. I've had to go back to my skiing suit to walk the dog. We go about 2 miles over there to a privately owned piece of parkland. They open it to the public. No rules on having dogs on leash, but this is a aggressive dog, and here this last week she's become a Velcro dog. In fact, she was laying down in here just a second ago until I went to get the little doohickey that attaches the camera to the tripod. Then she laid down in the hall. I guess she got tired of following me around. But Alma, and she's older, and I hate for her to get up every time I move because her hips are starting to give out. I actually have to boost her up, grab her back haunches to get her into the truck, their truck, to get her over to the place. That is a benefit I don't get very often, is that the homeowner leaves a car behind, or a vehicle. Generally to take the dog places, dog and or dogs, but the 2 times I've had one, or maybe 3, oh, 3, yeah, I had one in. No, that's not exactly true. When I had the Jeep in Denver, that was just for me because I'd ridden the train out. We didn't take the dogs anywhere, they just walked around. But I was going to a conference, you can use my Jeep, just come on out. And I chose to take the Amtrak. Probably a bad choice for that long of a trip. I still have not made that video about the disaster on the Cardinal number 50 Amtrak train from Chicago to DC. And I probably will at some point. But maybe this week, who knows? That's an idea that I hadn't come across my mind in a while. But I did find I had a setting on this camera that made it a wider angle. This is my GoPro, so the sound may not be quite as good as the cell phone, which is a bad statement on GoPro, but you should be able to see the fire better in this video. I know there was one I mentioned, I don't know if it ever got published or not, that if I took these couches out, cushions off of these chairs, then was lower and you could see the camera, the fire better on my phone camera. But somehow I got this GoPro switched to slow motion, so then I had to get into the controls to figure out how to get it back to the main video thing. I think I used cinematic. And I saw in there that there was a wider angle and a super wide angle, so I just made wide angle, and I think you can see the fire, even though I can't see it in the screen I'm looking at. Let me get a sip of water here. One thing I should probably say on my health channel, but I'll say it on this one, is that since I went to my brother's on the 20th, today is March the 2nd. So there's 28 days in February, so that was 10 days ago. I have not filled up my jug with Diet Mountain Dew. One thing some of the doctors I counsel with have said is that you should not use artificial sweeteners if you're trying to lose weight, or if you're metabolically unhealthy, i.e. have the metabolic syndrome, which I'm not sure if I have it or I don't at this point because I don't keep track of all those measurements anymore. But anyway, they have, they put the salt, the rock salt or whatever it is, in their water thing. Water softener, I think is what they call it. But you get these pellets you put in a machine, a bucket. But they didn't like the ion. They said they could still taste ions in it. So they got a reverse osmosis. That comes out of the refrigerator door, the ice in the refrigerator, and I'd call it a bar, but it's in the kitchen. I guess it ain't a bar. They got, I don't know, but there's a sink in the breakfast nook area of the kitchen that has the reverse osmosis water also. So I fill up my jug with that. I get the ice out of the ice box, the dispenser, and then I pour it in because it's a very low trickle. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on. Oh, and I started to say earlier, but I don't think I did. 2 years ago, when I was at a pet sit in Wilmington, North Carolina, I drove up to Fayetteville, North Carolina to see a couple of my favorite gospel music quartets. And in one of them, the man in charge mentioned that their soundboard guy, for some reason, had left. I don't remember if he died, if he got a new job, if he retired, what, but anyway, he was no longer with them. So the guy called somebody in the town that he lived in that he knew was, I guess, looking for work or was a friend and offered to help or something. So anyway, the guy said, I can do that. So he came on to be the soundboard guy, and then the bus driver left also. So I can drive a bus, I may not have a license, but I can get one, And I sat there and thought, I had a CDL in college because I did drive a bus for the School of Forestry on a forestry field trip that lasted a month. So I'm not real experienced with driving a bus. And there was a time I thought that maybe you couldn't get a CDL after you had a stroke, but I think for just driving a band around the country, you probably can. I really don't have any deficits from it as far as being able to drive. I drive all over the place. I guess there is a difference between driving a quote-unquote commercial vehicle and driving an automobile. Some states don't ever let you drive after you had a stroke. I shouldn't say ever. Virginia, when my mother had hers, she was told she couldn't drive for 6 months, but I don't know that that's ever put in your record. It's just the doctor telling you the law says you can't. So Dad drove her around. My friend in North Carolina had one, and I think she lost some of her peripheral vision, so she doesn't drive anymore. I think it's a combination of being told she shouldn't and knowing she shouldn't. So again, I don't know if it's a law, but I do believe at this point I could get a license. And anyway, I was watching a video, their State of the Union for this group, or the State of the Group, or whatever it's called, last night, and they said that that young man is now going into his own full-time ministry position in about 2 months. And I thought, well, I'm booked solid for about a little under 3 months, so 2.5 months probably. Yeah, right about 2.5 months. So I found their website, I found the manager's email address, and I sent off an email saying, I could be the guy to drive your bus and work your sound. I said, I have driven a bus, I haven't worked sound, but I could probably do both, like the man who said, I can. So anyway, that if it starts, it would probably be middle of May or early June, but I know they're having a fan reunion early in June. So I don't know if this young man would stick around through that or not, but that would work out perfect if he did, since my last house that I'm booked for now ends on May 14th. But anyway, that's just another thing about chilling, is I get to look at some jobs that I think I might enjoy and I think I'd be very good at. It involves travel, which is a check. It means I don't have to have a permanent place to stay. Check. And number 3, it's really only 3 or 4 months out of the year while they're touring. And they probably tour at Christmas or over the holidays. They probably tour different parts of the year, but I do know they're off for the whole summer. So I might have to rent a room or an apartment or something wherever they're based. I don't know if it's Ohio or Indiana or Nashville. That's kind of, and a lot are in North Carolina of the gospel music groups, but I did, after learning this, I found one in Texas that I didn't even know about. Might reach out to them too. That's a younger family, like mid-30s or so. Anyway, I'm a little bit excited about that, so I'm pausing on looking for more house sits, because this particular group has a concert here in Pennsylvania at the end of March. So I'm gonna ask I'll be in Virginia then, but it's an 1.5-hour drive to the church they're having it at. And they have a VIP meet and greet before you can pay extra to go to. So if I have not heard back from them by then, I will take it my own initiative and walk up and introduce myself, because I did meet them in Fayetteville, North Carolina 2 years ago in March. So they kind of sort of already know me, and I got the thought then, you know, that would be neat. I'll be sitting down. I'll probably have to unload and maybe set up the merch table and the soundboard and the lights and the microphones and stuff, but that's an hour or two before the show, an hour or two after the show. Then you're sitting down driving the rest, so it wouldn't be like the 5 or 6 or 8 hours at a time on my feet at Costco or Sheetz. So we'll wrap it on that. That's day 15, 16, 17, something on this 70-day journey. God bless. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.